Salutations, fellow denizens of the World Wide Web. Dabrainbox here with Plot Do presents the intelligent side of gaming, and I'm here today talking to you about MMOs, massively multiplayer online games. See here, I'm playing Lord of the Rings Online. It's a free-to-play MMO, old school MMO. Now, what exactly does that mean? Old school MMO. It's not a technical term, as far as I'm aware. It may be in some circles, but basically that's what you think of when you think of an MMO at this point. An MMO RPG, like World of Warcraft, hotkey based, not necessarily good graphics by standard definition of that. And they're normally either subscription or free to play. Lord of the Rings Online is free to play. I mean, it's passable, but if it wasn't free to play, I wouldn't have an account on it, to be honest. Now, there's been a bit of a change in the MMO part of the industry, and I'm going to talk to you about that. The so-called new MMOs. Now, there's 4 of them which are on my radar at the moment. None of these have been released yet, although they have been announced and development is well underway for them. I'm going to start with the one that I know the least about, because there's the least information about it out there, and that's The Elder Scrolls Online. This is set in the same universe as Skyrim and Oblivion, except it's going to cover the whole continent this time, for the first time ever in the Elder Scrolls, and that could cause a problem. I mean, for instance, when was the last time anybody played a game of Warcraft? Not World of Warcraft, but Warcraft, the series which it was based off of. Does that not seem like it might be a bit of a problem, making the Elder Scrolls, such a beloved series, into an MMO? That seems to me like it might go the same way as World of Warcraft, by killing it just by making it the MMOs by default last longer than their single player counterparts. So for many years, people's first impression of the Elder Scrolls will be the Elder Scrolls Online, and that could kill the series potentially. I don't know. Doesn't seem like a good thing to me. I'm looking forward to playing it, don't get me wrong, but I'm worried that that might mean that Skyrim is the last Elder Scrolls game that we see single player. Moving on, The Secret World. This is again sort of an old school RPG. It's hotkey based combat. No word yet on how it's going to be paid for, as with the Elder Scrolls Online, whether it's subscription or free to play or purchase. But I've watched various bits of footage from the beta that they had over E3, and it looks like it's going to be quite interesting. Definitely one to watch. Now, unlike the rest of them, this isn't going for a mass market, really. It's going for a more hardcore audience. It's basically like a Dan Brown novel, and they joke about that in the game a fair amount from what I've seen. But it's all sorts of stuff, Lovecraftian lore and Illuminati stuff like that. And no hand-holding. You have to actually work out stuff for yourself for the quests. For instance, one which I saw was called the Kingsmouth Code, and it's the starting town of Kingsmouth, and you have to find the Illuminati secret hidden in the area. That starts off relatively simple. You just walk around the town following the directional arrow on the drainage covers, but then you get to a plaque, and you have to solve a riddle and a visual clue as well. and then that takes you somewhere else, and you have to find a painting in that place, and you have to solve a riddle there, and it goes round and round like that, and until you get to the end. And that's a new approach. That's like alternate reality games, if you've ever heard of those. Are like games generally based around the internet, where they just leave all manner of clues in a seemingly normal website, and it's up to the viewers to figure them out and follow the trail to reveal the story. And the thing about these is that they're not technically games, in that you can't just say, oh, I'm going to go and play a bit of that. They actually require some hardcore investing in the game's story. And, well, that's okay. I have a feeling that's going to severely limit the Secret World's audience, especially past once the initial hype over it has settled down a bit. We'll see. On to PlanetSide 2. This was recently, a lot more information has come out about it at E3, and it's going to be free-to-play MMO FPS, which is not the first time anyone's seen this, because there was the original PlanetSide, but the first time I think it's been done properly. If you imagine like a multiplayer game, like multiplayer FPS like Team Fortress 2 or Call of Duty, and if you imagine playing that with not just tens of people, not just hundreds of people, but thousands of people on a map the size of a country, with hundreds of aircraft flying around, massive columns of tanks, infantry skirmishes over outposts, and it's all going to be free to play. So that's going to further increase the amount of people playing it. I mean, this looks like it's the start of a new trend, really, but I'm going to talk about that later. And on to the Holy Grail of MMOs, as some people have been calling it, Guild Wars 2. It's an MMORPG, but not a traditional one. It's action-based combat, dynamic questing, which for those of you that don't know what that means, it's basically means rather than going to a quest giver and getting a quest, and then and once you've got the quest you go and say kill 10 mobs and then come back and hand it in. Rather than doing that, instead you something will actually happen. Say a village gets attacked, and you can either help it out or you can run away, and anybody in the area can help out. Everyone will get credit for it. There's a number of different things you can do, from just killing to helping townsfolk, to picking people up, to healing people and bringing supplies, stuff like that. And that is it's going to be purchasable rather than paying a subscription. Instead, you just buy it on release, and that's it. No more money has to change hands after then, although there will be microtransactions. And I think this is the start of a trend. We're going to see an extra option rather than free-to-play and subscription, which is purchasable. And with modern technology, we're going to see MMO ? Where it's not necessarily going to be an MMORPG. It can be an MMO FPS, an MMO RTS. Anything you can think of could be an MMO with modern technology. I'll leave you to think that one over. Farewell from Dabrainbox.